All right, welcome back to Breakfast Central. Now it's time for us to tell you what's trending. We're looking at important conversations that have been talked about on the internet. And joining us to give and deliver this information is internationally renowned, on-air, globally recognized broadcaster Elizabeth Musa. Thank you very much for joining us.
Oh my goodness, Olive, what an introduction.
Liz, you warned us that we had to do the same introduction we did for Sam Dandy yesterday, so...
And you took the word in. Oh my goodness.
Thank
you. Good morning. Good to be here.
Good to have you.
Morning, Liz.
Good morning, Osa.
We're both dressed in black this morning.
Whoa.
I was going to say great minds think alike, but that would be insulting to myself. So let's just go ahead to talk about what's happening in South Africa.
Of course. We will start off Trend Wave today in South Africa, where a man has died after drinking an entire bottle of spirit in just 2 minutes in an attempt to win 200 rands, which is equivalent to 10 euros, which is also about 5,000 in Nigerian Naira. According to reports, this man, whose name has been withheld, has gone on to the store in Mashamba suburb in Limpopo to participate in the challenge, but eventually passed away after almost completing the 35% bottle of alcohol. A video has surfaced on the internet showing the man gulping down contents of the bottle in just 2 minutes while people clapped and cheered him on. Let's watch this. This is clearly a game turned tragic. Police in the Limpopo area have now opened an inquest into the death of the unidentified man, who they say is around 25 to 30 years old. Obviously, we don't know if the liquor store will, if anything will be done to the liquor store owners. It's unclear yet, but this is definitely a story that people are reacting to on social media, and it's quite sad to see how that turned out. And just the amount of money that this man was even trying to that this man was trying to do this challenge for is quite ridiculous. Let's see how people are reacting to this particular story on social media. That one is from Sherry. Sherry says, I can't even drink a bottle of soft drink in 2 minutes. It's so sad. I'm so sorry for him and his family. Indeed, this is quite an unfortunate incident. Blue Ocean says, how people get themselves into such contests for a fee that can't buy their life back is appalling. This is a risk that is not needed. Let's see more reactions on this one. Gatse says, for 10 euros, that money can't bury you now, bro. And there she is crying. It's really a sad story from South Africa. That one is from Fikade. Fikade says, heart attack killed him. Too much alcohol in the system for the liver and kidney to absorb and process. Hence, he collapsed and died. That's the unfortunate story from South Africa this morning. And I'm just wondering, just that little amount of money is trying to do this challenge for, is it worth it at the end of the day? It's quite unfortunate, Osa and Olive, if you ask me.
Very unfortunate indeed. And I think another thing that this brings to mind is the conversation about alcohol poisoning, which is not something that's talked about a lot. I mean, I didn't know about alcohol poisoning until I was much older. And it was when a certain person passed, who I think it was taboo, and it was alleged that he passed after consuming a little too much shots of tequila. So that was when I realized, okay, this can actually kill, because, I mean, we don't talk about it a lot, but I'm hoping that this would stir up that conversation and that more people would understand that alcohol can actually kill. Your system can break it down in certain portions. Choking your system with a lot of alcohol at the same time has a lot of detrimental effects to your health, and you could die. Unfortunately, he's died for 5,000 naira. That's not a good way to die.
Oh, I think we can also quickly share a statement that was released, with regards to alcohol laws in South Africa. We've been talking about this for a bit, and of course, South African government has also tried to step in to try to curtail the amount of drinking, that seems to be going on in South Africa. They put out a statement, and we probably can share that. And of course, that's also coming from the issues in the tavern, and the investigations as to what may have happened in those places that led to loss of lives. I personally, when I see people do these things, a lot of times, you know, we may want to blame poverty, but there are certain things that you should just have the common sense to know that it's you.
But can charges actually be filed against the liquor store? Do they have any role to play in this?
No, it's not. I mean, it's not suicide. You know, he was having a good time. You know, they placed a bet. You know, it's not. You can't. I don't know if you can be charged with anything particular for this. You know, not manslaughter, not murder, nothing. You know, if he survived, you know, everybody would have gone home. You know, they would have enjoyed his 5,000 naira or 10 euros. I'm not sure. You know what it is, but. I can't feel sympathy, you know, like that for people who make these, to take this type of decisions and go ahead with it and see the results. In
all fairness, for some people, it's a bit of ignorance because they've grown up hearing these things, you know, these myths about alcohol. In fact, there are people who, when they give birth to their children, give their children alcohol because they feel like it will make the child strong. So there's not a lot of information about alcohol poisoning. A lot of them feel like, what's the worst that can happen? I'll get drunk, I'll have a hangover, I'll get over it. But I do not think that a lot of them are intentionally doing this. Also, why poverty is a major contributing factor to actions like this is because a lot of people, when they're poor, they're looking for things to engage them, things like alcohol and sex. It's why you see a person who can't even feed themselves, but they have like 16 children. So a lot of people engage in these things as a coping mechanism.
It's pretty much the same way.
At the end of the day, people just need to be reminded to drink responsibly, no matter what.
So listen, it's pretty much the same thing with people who blame poverty for going to scoop petrol from a broken down tanker or, you know, a collapsed, petrol tanker. I can't have any sympathy for people like that because we've seen disasters, and it's not like we don't know what these things cause. I remember the Jesse Fire disaster because people went to a broken down pipeline to go scoop crude oil or petrol. And we remember hundreds lost their lives that day. We've seen it many, many times. So if you still go ahead and do it and blame pop, I can't feel any sympathy for you if you decide to put your life at risk like that. And the same thing, we know the amount of alcohol. That bottle he was drinking is very likely as high as 40% alcohol.
35% actually. 35%.
So you drink a whole bottle of that, and what did he expect? That he would have a good sleep?
It's okay. In some way,
we'll probably have to have this conversation.
Yes, we will keep arguing about
time.
it. But
so let's bring it back to Lagos, where Lagosians haven't had it good for the past month, and it might have even worsened in the course of the past few days, with commuters plying the Ajah Road spending approximately 14 hours in traffic. The frustration has thoroughly mounted. Permit me to call this traffic hellish. There's also a video, there are loads of videos and reactions online of users of social media actually channeling their frustration on social media. There is an actual video of an actor, Nosarex, lamenting about the time he had to spend on the road after doing school runs. Here is the video. Well, so the problem with this is that this traffic situation seems to be worsening by the day. Many more people are actually spending what is meant to be productive time in traffic at the detriment of their health and finance. We hope that this can be resolved sooner than later. But we have the video of actor Nosarex lamenting about the situation.
Yo, ladies and gentlemen, listen. If you dare anywhere around Ajah, VGC, Abraham Adesoya, you dey go Chevron. Listen, if what you dey go do not today important, I beg, just lock up or run out for night. I come up for house this morning, carry my children go school. I do school run since to 8 in the morning. This is 1:22. For those of now where know this route where.
That is just one of the many reactions we saw online of people lamenting the situation. We'll take more of these reactions. That one is still from Nosarex. He said, Lagos, waiting their call. I dropped my children in school. Was going to work now. These children have closed from school. I still am in traffic 5 hours plus from Ajah to Chevron. If we know that route well, it's a very short distance, but having to spend 5 hours on that route. That one is from Lai Ajanaku. It says it's 12:51 p.m. People who left Ajah at 5:30 a.m. to come to work in VI are still in traffic at Chevron. There has to be a way to alleviate the sufferings of people. That one is from Omokaide. Omokaide says, let it be known that I got to work after 8 hours and 30 minutes due to Ajah traffic. I am stressed. More reactions on this one. That one is from Cross. Cross says people have been in traffic since morning from Aja just to get to Freedom Way. The road is not only narrow now, but the potholes are also overwhelming. And he went on to address the government, saying that Osun State gubernatorial election is much more important to our governor. That is how people feel about this situation. It's a really serious situation. That one is from Joshua. Joshua says there's a way Lekki to Aja traffic will frustrate you that you'll be scared for your life. I even know people who happen to be affected by this situation. And I mean, spending 8 hours in traffic. I mean, my own sister spent about, she started her journey around 6 a.m. and got to her office place around 1 in the afternoon. That is a long time to spend in traffic. And you're not even talking about the time you use on your way back. How will you be productive? It's really sad what people have to go through, and I hope that there is a solution to this problem sooner than later.
It can be quite tedious, especially the traffic the past few days have not been funny. Lots of people have had to leave earlier than usual or leave later than usual. I personally had experienced it. One time I had to sleep over at my friend's place unplanned because the traffic was bad. I went to wait it out, and then at 11 p.m. I headed back on the road and the express was blocked. I just checked my boots.
Can you beat that?
I mean, I saw a spare dress that had been there and I was so thankful. So I went back and said, dear girl, can you help me? I need to sleep over here. So we just really hope that the traffic situation gets better for all of us, and so we can be more productive at our jobs.
We hope so.
All right, I think we'll have to leave it here. Liz, thank you so much for
Always
those
a
very
pleasure.
interesting stories. And of course, best of luck with Lagosians on the road today. We hope that it's not as bad as it was yesterday.
Hope
Liz,
so.
thank you once again, and have a sweet, sweet day ahead.